Hey, what's up? Welcome to Degen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts, like the chart behind me, which is of Luminar Technologies, ticker symbol LAZR. And so the reason why I want to be going over this chart is because it's by popular demand. So I put out this poll on Twitter yesterday with all of these tickers listed, but just these four as options for the poll, and LAZR was the winner. LAZR, Luminar Technologies. 48 people voted, so thanks a lot for voting. And if you would like to have a say in the videos that I'm putting out, you can check me out on Twitter at DGenAn. That's short for Andy. I'm Andy. Ed is over there in the corner. And yeah, you can follow me for tweets like this, thoughts on stocks, things like that. So just throwing that out there. But anyways, getting back to the chart. So I just wanted to follow up on this since the last video I made, which came out on November 11th. So that would be after the trading day of November 10th, which was last Friday. And actually, that was 2 Fridays ago, sorry. And so on November 10th, you can see this green doji. It looks like it kind of kissed this line at 308 that I have highlighted, and these should all be lines from that last video that I made. And I was suggesting that there was some possibility of bullish action to maybe fill this gap, and that there might be some bullish divergence. However, I also cautioned of a potential downside. And so one thing, looking back at when I made that video and looking at the chart here, one thing that I think is a tell in that why the price would go down is on the 10th. If you look at the volume, that's low buying volume, and volume tends to be low until you have this big day on November 14th, a lot of selling. And so in noticing that, hey, there's not a lot of volume on this green day, it's followed by a red day, that could be an indicator that price will go lower. And that's exactly what we saw. But however, we did also see this green candle on November 15th with the wick of that candle nearly perfectly filling this gap. The high was $3.51. The gap based on the low of November 8th was $3.50. So nearly perfectly filled that gap. So the only other gap to the upside is this one, or at least the next gap that I have noted, at least the next significant gap, is one that would need to go up to $4.73 in order to fill it. Given that that's multiple dollars away, nearly multiple dollars away, it seems a little far-fetched to think that that will be happening soon. And one thing that I have been surprised about over the past week or so is that when these candles, when these wicks came down to this trend line, I was expecting price to go lower, coming down to this red line at around $2.50. But that is not what happened. What happened for at least these 2 days, November 14th and November 17th, as well as November 20th, the tails of those candles that came down, they closed above that downward trend line, except for on November 16th. There was a close below that line, and so that makes me wonder, is this line that I drew significant that could serve as a downtrending support? There were prior breaks of this line. However, they did not last long, and it had served as support in the past. So I don't really think that this is a very significant break of that line. However, it is downtrending. So if it is to be respected, that would likely mean that price will continue to go down. And if you're curious, this line is based on, I'm not going to zoom out, but it's based on the low of June 30th, 2022 and the low of December 28th, 2022. So those are the two pivot points for that trend line if you want to draw it on your own charts and, explore it yourselves. And so my thoughts are that if this line is broken again, will it continue to serve as support? And might it serve as support in conjunction with $2.50, which the stock price has not been that low yet? However, $2.50 is a psychological level. $2.50. $2, 2 quarters, so that might serve as support in the near future if this line is broken, or perhaps in the middle of December when these two lines start to converge, late December. Actually, they converge right around the end of December. Maybe that will be a significant level where there could be a bounce to test what will be at that time, I suspect, a level of resistance at around $3 and then also at $4 before being able to fill this gap to the upside. But yeah, so far for the near term, the short time frame, it looks like there's probably more downside for Luminar, but there could be some bounces within this, especially if dipping below this line and closes above it. But other than that, it seems like the future might be, the near future at least, might be kind of bleak for LAZR. But, I do think that there's upside in the long term, as it is a great company. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Thanks a lot for watching.